So I have been playing around and testing out some products I've picked up recently. Some have been trickling in from my Sephora Sale orders, and others I picked up from brands I can't find at Sephora. So this past weekend, as I was quickly trying to get ready to go out and run some errands, I put the easiest and most beautiful everyday look together using some old products, some of these new products, and I loved it so much. I posted it over on Instagram. If you don't follow me there, please do follow me over there. And I thought, you know what? I love this look so much. Why don't I just sit down, jump on here, and show you how I put that look together? My skin prep done, including sunscreen. So I'm just going to start with primer. So I've been testing out the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas. I picked this up at the sale and I've been trying to use it as much as possible so that I can get my final thoughts on it. And I gotta say, I loved it the first time I used it. It's so very lightweight and silky and perfect for an everyday look, I think, because it's so light and kind of moisturizing, which is also very nice, but not heavily moisturizing. It's perfect. It sits beautifully on the face. It feels wonderful. So I really have been enjoying using this, especially for an everyday look. For brows, I already have them done. I used the Merit 1980 Tinted Brow Gel in dark brown and the Dior Brow Styler in dark brown as well. I use these in my trying my Sephora haul products on video that I posted last week. And I did the exact same thing today. On the weekend, I did use the Sephora Reveal the Real Skin Tint. I use the shade 130N, but it might be a smidge, just a smidge too light for my still tanned skin. I'm still hanging on to whatever color I picked up in Vegas last month. So although I was able to make it work, I wanted to put something that is a little bit closer to my skin tone right now. And that would be the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. I use shade 5 and it's perfect for me right now. This is one of my favorite skin tints. I picked it up last year and I love it. Gonna get a little on my hand here. Oh, I also picked up a new brush. This is the Makeup by Mario F4 brush. It's dual-ended, which I love. I know it's hard to store sometimes. I do realize that, but I do love the convenience of having a dual-ended brush. Use the fatter side for foundation, use the smaller side for any liquid or creams on the cheeks. So I do understand why some people might not like dual-ended brushes, but personally, I don't mind. I just store them properly and I've never really had any problems. So I'm going to use the whatever, you know, the bigger side of the brush. And I'm going to start applying it. So this skin tint is a skin tint, but it provides this very natural, almost medium coverage, even though it is a serum skin tint. I don't know what magic is in it, but it's wonderful. It covers everything I need it to cover, but it doesn't look heavy at all. I love it. I love the coverage and the finish that it leaves behind, and I keep on forgetting about it because I keep on testing new products, and I thought, you know what? Since I realized that the Sephora Reveal the Real was just a little bit too light for me when I used it on the weekend, like I said, it worked out just fine, but I knew I had this skin tint in my drawer, and so I thought I'd whip it out for today's video. This brush, so I picked this up at the Sephora sale, took the opportunity to, because I've been eyeing it, and I thought, why not pick it up now since the Sephora sale was on, and I'm Rouge, and I got 20% off of it, and I really like it. It's really soft. I like the size of it. It could be a little bit bigger. It just takes me a little bit longer to apply, but I don't mind. It's not something that's a problem. Sephora sale is over now. It ended on November 11th. How did you guys do? Did you pick anything up? Did you skip the sale this time around? I don't blame you if you did. It's all very overwhelming, especially this time of year. There are so many new releases and everything just looks so beautiful. And I'm a sucker for makeup and sometimes I can't help myself. But me, I have to say personally, I did really good this year. I mean, at this sale, not this year. The spring sale was a whole different story. That one, I went a little bit crazy at. But this year, I stuck to mostly staples and a few things that I've been eyeing, and I thought maybe you guys would be interested in seeing as well. So you can still see my skin peeking through, but there's almost like this veil over top. I just love this skin tint. I love it so much. So, based on a recommendation from one of you, I went ahead and picked up the Dermatology Eye Corrector. This eye corrector has SPF 41, which is always very much appreciated. And so, let me show you the applicator because it does have one of those cooling metal applicators, and you're supposed to take, according to the directions, a half a pump and then apply to your under eyes. I was applying it that way as I've been testing it out, and a little too much product was getting on my under eyes, and then it created a little bit of sort of too much of a product buildup for my liking. So what I have been doing is taking that pump, placing it on the back of my hand. Whatever is left on this applicator, I just then distribute under my eyes, and it is so cooling. This metal applicator, it feels phenomenal under my eyes. And so I spread it out initially with whatever is left over on there. And did I mention I'm using shade medium? And this does a fantastic job of canceling out the darkness under my eyes. Could I wear this on its own? I probably could. I'll stop talking right now to tell you that this is the point where I'll go in with whatever's on the back of my hand and I will work it into my ring finger or whatever finger you prefer if you apply under eye products with your finger. And then I will start tapping it on, and that is how I have found it works best for me to apply this. It's very creamy, it's very hydrating, it's got SPF, and I really have been enjoying this. It's so natural when I apply it this way. It's the thinnest layer that I can get, but it is pigmented enough that it does its job with minimal product. Again, I'll say I don't like going directly with the product under the eye because you then run the risk of over applying. That's all. Half a pump, just a little bit of a pump. And if I don't need as much as I've pumped out, then I don't apply it. But I like to go slowly with this one. Now I am talking through all of this. This look, I put it together literally in maybe like 17 minutes, to be honest, not 15, but we can round to 15. And it also depends, do you use a color corrector? Because if you don't use a color corrector, I do, I have to, then it would definitely cut down the time. So that's why it might seem like this look takes longer to do, but because I'm chit-chatting and everything, it seems longer. I always get my lids as well when I use my color corrector because I do have a lot of darkness on my lids as well. So this product blends right in, looks so, so natural. Thank you, and I cannot remember who it was, but I'm going to go back in my comments and find them. But thank you so very much for recommending this to me. And if you guys have any other recommendations, I gladly accept them. And whenever I can, I will pick them up and test them out. So I could leave it here. I really could, because it's a color corrector, but it's not too orange at all. So it doesn't seem like it's color corrector. It just seems like it's a really nice concealer. However, there's another product that I picked up that I have been using in combination with this Dermatology Eye Corrector, and it's so easy to use and it is such a natural look. And I'll stop yapping and show you instead of telling you. It's the Jones Road, the face pencil. I wear shade 7. And this is just so easy to use when you want a natural everyday look. So I have the Neutralizer pencil. It's a color corrector. It looks exactly like this, except it's called the Neutralizer. And I wear shade Peach in that. And then I thought I really enjoy that. And so I thought, why don't I try the face pencil as a concealer, and especially for a look like this one where I really don't want too much product on my face. This, I can just go in, it's a little bit brighter, and I don't need too much more coverage because of the Dermatology Corrector. And I just go in strategically, add a little bit of this pencil that is so creamy but not too creamy and blends beautifully. And I just add a little bit more coverage where I need it. And then I just tap it in, and you end up with the most natural looking under eye. Really, truly. This you could also use to cover up blemishes, This shade 7 would be maybe a little bit too light to do that on my face, so I keep this to the under eye, but you could get a shade or two darker if you wanted to use it for the face. And again, another product that I can just use my finger to easily spread out. So it didn't add more layers, it just kind of provided that concealing where I need it. And I'm not too fussy for my everyday out the door looks. I don't want to look completely like full coverage concealed. I just want to cover up the sins a little bit, you know? I'm also going to just add a little bit on my lid. Nothing crazy. Just a little bit, just to brighten up the lid. Again, and what I love about this is that you can be so precise in where you add it so you don't over apply. I think I want to add just a little bit down the bridge of my nose. I didn't do this on the weekend, but while we're here. And I might want to brighten up around my nose here, that I tend to have some darkness. So light, blends it right in. And you know, you would think for a pencil it would be hard to do that, but it's not at all. But like I said, it's not too emollient and it's not too stiff. It's the perfect consistency. So I really have been loving this. Let's lift. Let's do a little lifting too. Just a little. Of course, if you don't need this, then you can skip it. Next, I lightly bronzed with the LYS bronzing stick in the shade Motivate. The reason I love this stick, it's not an oldie, I picked it up last year, but it is a goodie. This shade in particular, Motivate, is just like a hair darker than my skin tone, just a hair. So it does provide, you know, a little bit of a shadow, a little bit of a subtle bronze, but it's not noticeable because it's so close to my skin tone, and for every day I do love that. Love the shape of this too, because this triangle shape makes it so easy to run down your nose if that's something that you do. I'm going to take the other side of the Mario brush to blend this in. So it's almost like a barely there bronze and sculpt, and I love that, especially when I'm running out the door to do groceries and I don't feel like doing a full look. And sometimes I do, don't get me wrong. If I'm feeling it, I am feeling it. But this gives you such a natural, beautiful bronze. And the other thing is that it's so easy to blend. It's so creamy, so beautiful, so amazing. I love it. I keep on forgetting about it again because I try so much stuff all the time. So I would say the other side of this brush is also very nice. And I'm just going to use the tip of this side of the brush to just blend out the nose. This just melts right in. Not a lot of effort necessary at all. Next, I went in with the Huda Beauty Bronzer. Picked this up at the Sephora sale, and I'm so glad I did because it's just so beautiful. So it is a bronzer blush, but I use it in conjunction with that LYS, and it's just perfect because the LYS bronzer provides a little bit more of a defined sculpt here, and then this is more of a blush, but also provides that bronziness as well. I also picked up the It Cosmetics 03 brush. This is supposed to be specifically for cream and liquid blush. Then you have the base, but then these fluffier parts that stick up. And it's supposed to do a really great job of blending out those cream blushes. I do believe I have over applied because I wasn't paying attention, but that's okay. I love this Huda Beauty bronzer. Did I mention this is shade Latte? There's Cocoa Crush, a darker shade as well. I think Latte works for me. I think Cocoa Crush might be a little bit too dark for my liking. Oh, there. It looked like it was too much, but now it certainly is not because I think it looks gorgeous. This is perfect. Every time I have used this since I have picked it up, I have loved it more and more. So I like this brush. It does really help apply these cream products nicely. So it's nice because of the fluffiness of it, but it still keeps everything in place. Typically I would use something like the other end, the smaller end of that Mario brush, or my BK Beauty 109 or my Sephora number 47 brush to do this, but it is nice. This fluffiness really helps disperse the cream products very, very nicely. So I am really, really liking this one. I also used the Huda blush bronzer on my eyelids, friends. And it works. It works. Refer number 15. And just a couple of dots on there. And then I just spread this puppy out. This Huda bronzer looks really intense when you first apply it, but then diffuses into this gorgeous, gorgeous shade. It is warm. It's warm. It is a bronzer blush, so you're not going to get a cool look on your eyes, but that doesn't bother me in the slightest. I'm not too picky about along the lash line here because we are going to add a quick liner. If you wanted a very, very light wash of this, you could just put some on the back of your hand, pick it up with your brush, and apply sparingly. I didn't. I went straight in, but if you want to control how intense this would be on your eyes, then I would do that. So now we have a very cohesive look, which I think looks so natural when you have sort of a monochromatic look going on. This was also quite long lasting on the eyelids as well. Even though it's not a shadow product or a lid product, it did a really good job hanging on. You could definitely leave it here, add some mascara, but when I ordered the face pencil from Jones Road, I also picked up the best pencil, which is an eyeliner pencil in the shade brown. Oh, I also picked up this Glossier sharpener for pencils. I love that it has this container so all the shavings can stay in there till you're ready to dump it out. I love that because, as much as I love a regular sharpener, if there isn't anywhere for the shavings to go, it can get a little bit messy. So I love this. I'm just going to sharpen up my pencil just a little bit. It's a smidge dull. And this is a really great sharpener. Besides the fact that I love the container, it does a really, really great job. I really went easy with the liner. I just, went as close to the lash line as possible, just right in between my lashes. Not necessarily in the waterline, although it does get there as much as I try to just get right in between those lashes just for some definition there. And when I got out to the corner here, I just a little flick. Then I'm going to use a small little brush to help that out, just depositing the product here for now. Then I grabbed this MAC, I think it's a 206. It's a little angled brush that I love to use. Take the tip of it and place it on the product and then just start flicking out. And then I turn it around and get it where I want it to go. I'm going to hold just a little bit because I need that. I'm not pulling, I'm just holding a little bit. Realize that, I need a little bit more of the pencil here. I like to go little by little. I'd rather have to go in and add a little bit more versus not having anywhere to put too much product. This eyeliner pencil is nice, easy to work with, is pretty long lasting. It doesn't fade away. It glides on easily. It doesn't tug. It's not dry. It is a great pencil. Is it the best pencil? I don't know. But if it's the only pencil that you have, I wouldn't complain, I don't mind that I have it. I do enjoy it. But would I run out and repurchase it immediately if I run out of it? I'm not sure. I'll have to use it a little bit more and see by the end of it if I'll feel like I'll miss it or not. But for now, it's a great product. I'm going to curl a little bit because my goodness, I don't know what's going on. I can barely see my lashes at all. This is the Refer eyelash curler. It's fantabulous. Oh no, that made my eyes water. Uh-oh. Flew a little too close to the sun, It's okay. I hope it doesn't disturb my concealer. Okay, it did. It did mess it up a little bit. Luckily, I have not powdered yet, so I'm going to go back in with the face pencil and just try to help this area out just a little bit. Oh no. Okay, I think that's as good as it's going to get. These things happen sometimes. I'm definitely going to need an eyelash primer. This is the MAC Stack Primer because I don't know what's going on with these lashes today, but what I don't want is to make my eye water again. So I'm going to be very, very careful. You don't necessarily need an eyelash primer, of course, but I do. At the Sephora sale, I picked up a new brown mascara, always looking for a great brown mascara, and I picked up the Lancome Lash Idole in True Brown. This is a volumizing, lash lifting, 24-hour mascara. This is a very nice brown shade. It's more on the reddish side, more in like the more auburny, but not too red. It is long lasting. It doesn't flake and it doesn't dry out. It doesn't clump. Is it volumizing? Well, I'm going to have to reevaluate what I think volumizing is on my lashes because they're sad and pathetic. Do they look really volumized? You know, not the most, but what do we expect from these flimsy little things, right? So if you actually have a normal amount of lash, then I think this would be really, really great. And I'm getting as much out of it as I possibly can. Is it lifting? Definitely. Keeps the curl, keeps the lift. I'm really, really liking this mascara a lot. Yeah, it does a really, really great job. The shape of it and the shade of brown that it is, actually really, really like this. And also, I should say, it's not too wet of a formula. You know, when you first open up some mascaras, they can be a little bit too wet the first time you use them. You have to let them kind of dry out a little bit before they go on not so messily. This one has the perfect amount of product that comes out and is perfect off the jump. So that I also appreciate as well. I don't like mascaras when they're too wet. I find them hard to control, and especially because I have very sparse lashes now that can become even messier much more quickly. I just want to add just a little bit on my bottom lashes, just a touch. Whatever is left on the brush, I'll do both eyes and I just touch because I don't want to too much, especially for this, you know, natural kind of daytime look. Adds a little bit of definition on the lower lash line, and that is all. Now I'm going to lightly powder with the Danessa Myricks Evolution Powder in the shade 2. Using my Real Techniques 402 brush. I love this brush for under the eyes especially. Swirl that into the palm of my hand just to get it all nicely distributed. I don't want to go in with too much. And then lightly powder under the eyes and down my nose. And my chin looks a little shiny today, so get it there as well. I only use this to basically lock in the concealer very lightly under my eyes, and then the rest is where I feel like I might have some shine. I do have normal skin 75% of the time, and then there are times throughout the year that I might lean a little bit dry or a little bit oily, but if I do get oily, it's never anything extreme, either to the dry side or to the oily side. So we just say I'm combo. I wouldn't say I'm combo. I would say I'm normal, and there are fluctuations sometimes. So for the most part, I do have normal skin, but like I said, today, even though, you know, the weather is cooler, I'm looking a little bit more shiny, a little bit on my chin, but like I said, nothing extreme. So I just add a light dusting of powder in those areas just to kind of tone it down. And I love to put it just around here where I do have the bronzer blush because it kind of blurs. It gives it like a seamless blend to the skin. So I love doing that too. I picked up another Jones Road product in my order. This is the lip pencil in the shade called Nudist. Give you a little swatch of the shade because sometimes it's easier to see it on the hand versus the lips. It gives you a really nice definition to the lips that's just so very natural, and it doesn't really look like you have a liner on, although it does all the job of a liner. It glides on. It's so hard to talk and do this. It glides on so easily. It really does. And I love this shade. I love it. I love it. Sometimes contoury shades for the lips can look a little too brown, a little too gray sometimes perhaps, but this is perfectly neutrally without leaning any which way. Again, I love that it's a sharpenable pencil. Love that. You can overline here if you want. I do a little bit on the cupids, not too much. I don't like that lip on me. that's like straight across. I really love a beautiful Cupid's bow, right? And I don't always want to cover that up, but I also love the effect of fuller lips when you do overline, kind of in between, just a little bit. This glides on like butter. It does. So when I was talking about the eyeliner, it was nice. This is superb. I love it. I, of course, could not help myself at the Sephora sale. Y'all know how much I love the NARS Explicit lipsticks and all of the shades. I wish I could pick up every single shade. And I said, no, you're going to only pick up one at the Sephora sale to add to your collection. And I picked up the shade Liaison. I'm going to quickly swatch it. This is Liaison in the NARS Explicit. And actually, just by pure coincidence, it happens to be perfect for the Jones Road lip pencil in Nudist. Get this on. When you first put it on, it's like, oh, that's quite orange, but it's not. It's quite neutral, actually. I adore these lipsticks. I think it works beautifully with the lip pencil. The lip pencil provides a little bit of like a contour, but it's not too contrasting with this shade. I love it. So there you have it. Minimal products, minimal time, minimal effort, all the minimals. You could definitely skip some of these steps that you don't need that I need, like even the primer. I wanted to keep on testing out the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas, and that's why I used it. I do think it contributed to the longevity of this look because it did last me all day. You could also skip the eyelash primer that I need but not everybody needs. You could also skip the under eye color corrector if you don't need that. So many things that I particularly need that not everybody does need, that adds to the product list and adds to the time of it. But all these products in combination, it was just so easy to put together. Yes, I mentioned that this is going to be a little bit of a longer video because I'm talking through the products, I'm explaining things as I'm putting it on, but definitely would never take this much time and didn't take this much time when I put this look together. Just